Well, hey everybody, good morning. How are you this morning? I thought we'd do a little mining stream like we do. Without further ado, we'll get right into the game. So, good morning. How you doing? Saturday morning. It's pretty gray out here today. It's been rainy and gray. This week was interesting. Some days it got up into the 60s and it's been as low as the 20s. So, cool week. Getting towards spring, so I'm excited about that, getting that warmer weather happening. I'm not going to spend a lot of time chatting about it today, but man, I was fighting the cold this week, so I didn't do much streaming. So I'm happy to kind of sneak one in here this morning, that's for sure. So, well, without further ado, let's go ahead and think about maybe a pre-flight here. I haven't taken a look at these prospectors in a day or two, so we'll just go ahead and double check. Oh, it's a good thing I did. I'll have to pick up more Brants when I'm down there next time. But I have an FLTR XL and 2 Brants on board. And I do have the rush drive on this guy. So we'll go ahead and save that. Just double check that we've got what we're looking for. And we will not waste a lot of time. Good morning, Sandy. How are you this morning? You're up early. Or at least I am up a little earlier. So yeah, off we go. We'll go ahead and get this guy pulled over. We'll head over to Leary and see if we can't find some rocks to mine here this morning. How you been, Sandy? Alright, had one. Obviously, the big elephant in the room is 317 is coming. They've really put out some nice stuff this week in Star Citizen Live and ISC. I am really looking forward to the selling. I think that's going to change things up considerably. It will be interesting to see what things are left in the stores. They've talked about taking a lot of things out of the stores that are already in there, and making it so you can exclusively find those in the verse. And I think that's going to be fun. I think that they've really I think that's going to change Star Citizen kind of forever. Sandy says, I am figuring out a mole loadout. Interesting. There's different ways to do that, Sandy, of course, as you're probably getting the hang on. What I normally like to do is I normally will go, I've added a couple ways, but usually I go three Lancets, like the size 2s, and then I'll have like some Stampedes and some Brants on 2 of the lasers, and then two FLTR XLs. And then one FLT or the XTRXL on one of the lasers. So, Chris, how are you doing? I've been thinking about you. I hope that you're well. Yeah, man. I was just thinking about you this morning. I was wondering if you were going to drop in today. So, well wishes coming your way, and I wasn't doing much this week anyways myself, so it's just nice to kind of be around, and I'm glad you're able to make it today for sure. So yeah, Sandy, I like to do where 2 of the lasers kind of have the Lancets on there with Stampedes, and like 2 Stampedes and a Brant. That's how I like to do it. And I know that I know that you've talked before how you like to have the VAUXC3s on there. That makes sense to me for sure. Left has Surge, Stampede, and Optimum. Right will have 3 filters. Yeah, that's cool. Like I always went with the 2 filters and the XLTR. So. Well, got it, Chris. I hear what you're saying. You're moving to a place where you're getting ready to get prepped for surgery there. Gotcha. Well, just thoughts and prayers, man. They're, certainly. I know a couple of the guys from the stream have asked a little bit, and I've just said, hey, I just know that he's got something going on in life, and just want you to know that. I know it always just seems like it's, hey, just some guys on the internet or whatever. Dude, I really am thinking about you. Hey, Joey, good morning. Yeah, we're drinking some coffee, doing a little mining this morning. That's exactly right. I got a nice cup of Java right here, and it's just a beautiful thing to be able to do a little more, little coffee and do a little mining. We count our blessings for sure. Sandy, I think that's a good setup. I mean, obviously, you can tweak it around here and there, but I do. I think that's a good setup. All right, we'll pivot port side here. Amos Black, good morning. How are you this morning? Not a name I recognize. Welcome to the stream. Kind of spool up the Quantum and head over to Lyria this morning and see if we can't find some rocks to mine. Alright, so we're going to come out of Quantum here in Lyria. We'll look for someplace in the sun to fly down to, and then just kind of just head over the planet a little bit and see if we can't find something to put our lasers on. That'll work right there. SPAL 12. Easy for me to say. In we go. Sandy says, tried active modules for the first time, and I blew up a 6.2K 45% rock, completely disintegrated. I've been there, man, for sure. I don't think the modules were attached in the order I put them on. Yeah, you have to kind of watch on the side. They do get, sometimes they get a little the mole's a little weird. I don't know if you're talking about the mole, Sandy. It's a little weird sometimes in the order that it puts those things on, and like things get kind of shook up a little bit as you, like with the middle. The two sides in the middle laser, like, I think it kind of like changes the order of things as you attach them or whatever. Chris, I haven't tested that theory yet. I'm going to do that for sure this week. And I tell man, it's not for here nor there for me to say much about it. But I had a pretty good cold this week, so I didn't do much, in the way of Star Citizen. So I'm just kind of getting myself, kind of turned back around. But that's definitely on my short list of things to give a try, Chris. James Black says, very good. How are you? I'm doing really good this morning. I'm any morning that you can sip a little coffee and do a little mining in Star Citizen's a good morning. That's for sure. We got our first doublers here. We're going to come in and take a look at these guys and see if they're going to bear any fruit for us. So first rocks of the day. Ooh, one disappeared for a second. Alrighty, first scan of the day. Probably not great. 8% there at 5,011 mass. This guy has quite a bit of it inside the planet surface here. This is a 4451, around the 7%. So a 7 and an 8% right off the bat this morning. Those two aren't going to do it for us. We're just going to kind of move on. Head over there and check out these guys. Yeah, Amos, thanks for asking, for sure. Just kind of chilling, doing some mining, man. That's basically it. See if we can't find something to haul in and throw in the hopper. Alright, there's a couple there. So we'll just kind of head in the direction for a while. I normally will cruise between 1,500 and 2,500 off the deck. And just cruise around looking for anything that's more than 2 rocks. That's the meta here on Lyria. And, a lot of the regulars on the stream are going to recognize the format. It's pretty consistent. And we are, basically looking for Quantanium this run. Oh, Amos says, he just wasted 100K by choosing the wrong method. Yeah, that happens, man. You can occasionally you can get in a hurry and grab the wrong method, or I've also had it once or twice where I kind of chose one, but I kind of jumped to another. It's like, what the heck? But yeah, you got to be real careful when you got to be deliberate in there. We generally go. I go with the Dynex when I'm soloing. Whenever I'm working with anybody else, just so they don't have to wait forever. There's some doublers. We'll get those doublers. I'll use the Ferron exchange, just because it's it's quicker. I mean, it's a little more up. You lose a little more off the top, but yeah, maybe those weren't doublers. Alright, we're going to find the sun here, people. There. I'm going to keep that at our noon, and we're going to pick up our speed and keep that at our 12 o'clock position, and that way we're not circling back on rocks and scanning the same things that we just left behind. I have heard, I don't know if it's a thing, that the orbital stations and the landing zones are no longer going to share the same inventory. So that kind of the age of hauling your loads to the orbital station and maybe taking a skiff down may be coming to an end. Amos says he's like, yeah, I was just kind of zoning out watching some YouTube. And I paid a lot to get a low quality fast. Yeah, I hear you, man. Just kind of, there are times, especially on the stream here too, and I'm like, I'll be distracted kind of mining and talking, and things won't go well, I get it, for sure. I ran across some restricted area here, and that's alright, we'll just keep on moving. Ah, there's some doublers. That's awesome. Sandy says, I had 60 SEU loadout of Terranite and Bexlite. Dynex was going to take 3 days. The extra 6K is used to switch to Ferron. Yeah, that makes sense, Sandy. I mean, Ferron is, Ferron really is probably, pound for pound, maybe the best one based on time and that type of thing. The Dynex is actually, of course, you're purely the most profit. If you're in no hurry, there's absolutely nothing wrong with going with the Dynex. And I usually go with the Dynex unless, like, we start getting in, especially over the next week or two, when we start getting, they start getting to where they're going to put 317 on one public service announcement. This could be a decent rock. It's not bad. We'll talk about it in a second. One public service announcement while y'all are here. As obviously 3.17 is in Evocati and eventually go to the PTU, but at some point they'll have it where they're gonna, where they're threatening to kind of drop it into the regular PU. You definitely want to make sure all your refining jobs are cleared out before then. You will lose your refining jobs when 3.17 drops into the PU. Now that's still probably a couple weeks off and nothing to worry about. But as it gets closer to being able to do that, or to that dropping, you're definitely going to want to start using stuff like the Ferron exchange so your things get done better. So this is a decent rock. This is a 28%er at 5,000 mass. So, actually I didn't charge my phone, so I'm going to have to do the math in my head. I don't have QuantCalc. So this is going to be, let's see, it's 280. So, if we did 250 at 5, this is going to be around 27 SCU. That's a rough estimate. So we'll go ahead and do this guy. This isn't a rock we want to drive away from. This is a rock we definitely want to do. So what I'll do is I'll pivot around and I'll get it so the UI is in the dark right there. We'll go ahead and get the laser started and we'll begin mining. We're in nice optimal range. Effective range is around 19.6. We'll go ahead and crank this guy and get it busted up. They said no wipe, Sandy, in 3.17, and that's not... but they absolutely will wipe the refining jobs every single time that they do the refining jobs do get reset. I've not seen it where... And maybe... there's no way for me to predict the future when it comes to Star Citizen, but every single time they've dropped a patch, if I've had refining jobs still cooking, I hadn't called them yet, those get wiped out. Even though they're not necessarily wiping all the stuff. You probably still will have to kind of like recreate your character, repick your landing zone. And even though you'll log on and have all that stuff, you got to be careful that you don't want to leave a bunch of refining jobs. You want to get those ran to the cargo place and get them sold to the TDD. I mean, yeah, I hate to say this, but I probably lost 8 or 9 jobs one time, and one big job. Like, we knew it was coming, and we kind of took a risk. It was just one big mole run, and we lost that too the last time. So it happens. It's just one of those things I always like to mention. Make sure you get them cleared out. All right, so we're just busting into the optimal here, and we will kind of see how this goes. This is a 1.6 instability over 5,000 mass. Very easy to manage here. I'm just kind of keeping an eye on it. It's just now into the lower part of the optimal. I can scooch over a bit and get you a little contrast. Oh, I didn't know that if you did a character reset, you lose them. I think I had to do a character reset one time this time, but I haven't. I don't know that I've ever had to do one when I had refining jobs going. All right, so this is a good sign right off the bat. There's a big chunk of nothing, and you know that usually portends well. So there's a 100%er right there at a 340 mass, little guy. This is a 17%er. A couple more to scan here. Ooh, that's a 100%er at 905. This guy broke clean, you guys. This is a good clean break. Yeah, this broke real clean. Well, and I agree with Amos is saying character resets also remove them. I agree with that. I mean, that's just been my experience. You know, I like to warn people because obviously we don't want to go mine and then have a bunch of refining jobs and lose them. That's just been my experience, and I know, and a lot of people who come on the stream mention that as well. And it's just one of those things I like to do. And I know we're a couple weeks off, before it actually 317 goes live. So it's not like it's tomorrow or anything, but probably that week that it begins, you might want to just kind of stick to the Theron exchange method, and and if you really suspect that they're going to drop it on like a Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe that Monday before, clear out your refining jobs just to be sure. All right, clean break there. We're going to move on to the next guy. Crank this guy up pretty high. I'm trying to get into this green before it hits 30 on what's left in the brand. That will actually mean I'll have a chance to do both rocks in one single brand, which is kind of what I'm shooting for. I don't want it to fall out there. Got 18 seconds, 17 seconds left on the brand. So yeah, I was trying to kind of conserve the brands. Not that it's any big deal. Fire them away. Use these consumables. That's what they're there for. You're making too much money not to use them. But definitely, it's a little mini game I like to play with myself, kind of break into both of the, 2 rocks, 1 brand. Good break. All right, that's nothing. That's nothing. I think this guy had a 17% in this one. And that's nothing. Ooh, hey though, everybody. Look at this guy down here. I didn't notice this guy at first. He was tucked in until I moved in a little closer. I don't think that's, I was going to say, by my calculations, that probably wouldn't have a lot in it. Makes sense. All right, well, we'll break this 17%er up. Almost 18. I won't even, with the 1.36 instability, I won't even need a consumable on this guy. This will be an easy break. And then we'll do some scooping. Notice that she jumped up pretty quick. I just kind of turned the laser off. Don't panic. Just, if she jumps up into the red, just turn the laser off and easy peasy. Just, go ahead and, always flirt with the bottom part of the optimal window, not the overcharge. If it falls out, it falls out. That's okay. If it gets up into the overcharge, sometimes it can get away from you if you're not careful, So, Aim says, what's the closest place selling surges to ARC L1? I believe it's HUR L1. Yep, I'm fairly certain it's HURL1. You can double check that, but I'm like pretty sure it's that. That's where I think I go for those. All right, so I'm ready to extract here for sure. This was a clean break, so we know we're ready to rock. We'll start bringing this stuff on board. We'll see how we do. I'm hoping at least mid-20s here. Right. Alright, so we're just kind of going through and locating all the hundos first, and this was a pretty clean pretty clean break, so we're definitely having a real good success here right off the bat. We're just crossing 16 SCU, and now I've got to be careful because around this spot was that 14%er. Yep, you can see that's... I'm gonna move over back kind of over in this spot because this is where that other 100%er was at. And then Ames is asking, can you still transport in a ship inventory? Last time I tried, they did not appear in my inventory. Are you talking about like if you buy surges and then you move them into your ship inventory? Because that's a yes. But I have heard people say that they've moved them into the ship inventory and they're not there. So you do have to want to be careful. Like just triple make sure you can see them before you leave. But yeah, you can absolutely just go into the climb aboard the ship, open up inventory, and absolutely really make sure you're not dragging it personal to personal or something along those lines. Make sure on one side is vehicle and on the other side is personal for the station. And yeah, and then you can haul those. You bet you can. So we're at 24 SCU. Yep, and we knew that we didn't have a lot left here. There's a 48. Okay, so I think that there was a couple of these did have a little bit in them. Right? I think there was a couple of them over here that had a little bit in them. Yeah, so here's a 60 and then there's a 48. So we're going to cross 25 SCU, which is an excellent run. Not a unicorn, but, hey, that's okay. We're just about to cross, if we might make it, 27 SCU. That is a very solid run. I'll double check. I don't think there's anything in this guy. I'll double check it. Very respectable Quantanium run with the Prospector. 27 SCU. We'll start making our way back to Arc L1. Pull in the laser and off we go. Well, that didn't take long. That was a nice, successful trip. Quick little chat and a couple of doublers, and boy, we found something right off the bat. That is all right. All right, all right, all right. Yeah, it's been rainy and gray here in northern Michigan for, kind of yesterday and today. It was, like I said, this week it was kind of doing what Michigan does in the spring. It would get to 60 and then down to 20 at night. And And you know, Michigan's a little all over the place. We have a saying in Michigan: if you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes. A lot of, you know, that's just kind of. Now we have lots of nice, beautiful days. Don't get me wrong, but it's you know, the spring's always a little bit of hit or miss. So we're going to come out of first quantum here. We'll go into second quantum. We have not heard first alarm yet, so we're in really good shape. Absolutely excellent shape here. Got our first run in the hopper here. We just crossed 27 SCU, so probably by the time we refine it, we'll probably have in the neighborhood of 25 SCU. Oh, right, we're just about to come out of... Sandy, thank you for that. Ames, Sandy answered the question as well. Port Olisar, Lorville, or HURL1 for surge. It seems like I end up going to HURL1 because I used to fly out of CRUL1 forever, you guys, and I love CRUL1. But because Lyria has been so consistent with Quantanium, you know, I've kind of had, for a while, I've moved my operations to ArcL1. So yeah, I fly out of ArcL1 a lot, and it seems like HURL1 is the place where I fly for surges, because they do, ArcL1's good. I mean, it does have Brants, it does have Stampedes here, and it does have the Lancets, at least the size 1 Lancets here. I think the Lancet size 2s are actually at HRL1 as well, so if you need those, but, you know, for a mole or whatever. But a lot of what you need is here on ArcL1, and then, of course, it's, you know, its proximity to Lyria is pretty important at this point until they break that meta where it's every single time it's more than 2 rocks as Quantanium. It's really hard to... Someday when that comes to an end, it's gonna, you know, it's gonna be interesting. And maybe it won't. Maybe that's just kind of the way Lyria is. Anyways, we'll go ahead and... Bingo bango.
And please visit again.
We'll go ahead and call for a pad. The greatest feature in 3.17, hands down, is going to be the one-click call the ATC. I'm so excited about that. I'm going to immediately map that to the stick as soon as I can.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
So in we go. We still haven't heard first alarm yet. And we are doing lovely. Ames is saying that he likes to know where the timer is, so he clicks you know, M. You know, Ames, we actually I'll tell you something. You know, and I kind of use this time usually to do that, anyways. In the link in the description below, we have an actual app that we have. It's called QuantCalc, and we actually just added a new feature to it. Now, QuantCalc's cool. What it does is you can type in a mass really fast and a percentage, and it will tell you how much SCU's in a rock. And then if you're on a cluster, you can keep adding rocks, and it will total out all of that stuff. The app's $1. You know, it's kind of like I said, there's a link in the description. But we just added a timer. So, like, you can actually start the timer. You know, so after you do all your extracting, so it's got, you know, you can actually, new feature in there. You can click it and get a Quantanium timer going. So, I know what you mean. I've done so many of these. You know, I don't really... It's become such old hat, you know. I generally kind of get a sense of where I am, and because that broke so clean, and you know, we just kind of, we got lucky there. It broke clean and easy. But I definitely was a peeker on that myself too, where I would click M and peek and watch that. ArcL1 has Brant, Stampedes, and Optimums. Yeah, ArcL1 does have a lot of the regular stuff I use for sure. Like my entire kit that I like to use, I think I can get. And they also have the FLTRXLs here. So ArcL1's, you know, it's definitely got a lot of, like, the kit that I like to run. It definitely, all that stuff I can get here for sure. Chris Bates, yeah, timer added. Yeah, it's in there now, the timer. So, you know, that somebody, as you guys know, some of you guys who are on the stream quite a bit, you would know that somebody from the stream is who suggested that timer. You know, of course, the app is an early release, so I think it was Bellios. Bellios is, you know, on the stream one day and said, you know, it'd be cool if this had a timer on it, and that's how it happens. You know, it was a good suggestion, and that's how it worked. That's cool, Ames. I appreciate that. Yeah, you know, and that's how it started out for us. It was like an organizational tool that we had kind of inside. You know, inside, you know, if you just were signed into the website, you could get access to this tool. And at some point I said, you know, we should try and make an app out of that and just offer it to other people so they could have it. And, you know, a lot of people have bought it. We've, you know, it's, you know, we're not getting rich on it or anything. I mean, I think it was probably 150 downloads of it or something. You know, nothing crazy. But it is cool that, you know, that it's a nice thing to have, for sure. To be able to quickly calculate that stuff, and it's nice when your org builds tools like that, for sure. All right, so go ahead and get this guy in the hopper here. We're just going to do the old Quantanium, and we're going to do a Dynix solve. You know me, I'm a Dynix guy. For my own stuff, generally speaking. Yeah, so I ended up being almost 2,600, so that's not too bad. You can see we have a mole run here. I did a Thursday night. We did an org event, and I was, you know, I had a cold and was feverish, but still I got out the old mole and we did one run real quick. The prospectors were out, but there was a chance to do a decent mole run. This was over 80 SEU in the mole before we, you know, kind of got taxed on our you know, our refining job. So this was a nice Quantanium run on the mole. So Chris is like, yeah, later salvage calc. Yeah, you know, however salvage works out, whatever the math is, I know that we are going to, you know, do something with that stuff for sure. You know, and more than likely just add it to the exact same thing. So if you already paid your buck, you get it. So I had mentioned I was going to make sure I had enough of these guys. I kind of was down to one of them. So I'll buy 10 of those. Yeah, and this is the one thing about ARCA 1. You just got the branch, you got the FLTR XLs. That's primarily what I run. You know, I know that there's lots of different people with different kits. But also you have the Stampedes here. And those are excellent if you're, you know, kitting out your mole. Get a couple lasers on the mole and, you know, and you know. But also you have your Voxes here, you know. This is, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff here. And so... Sandy's saying, I like the night you guys had 7 to 9 prospectors out. Yeah, thanks, Sandy. Yeah, that was cool. You know, we normally don't do that. It was just, I thought it would be fun just to do prospector night. And so, yeah, we had a bunch of prospectors out that night, and we were flying all over the place. And that night, Sandy had found a cluster and kind of let us know about it, and we went and flew over and were able to scoop up some of the stuff that he had found. So that was a fun night. Yeah, Chris, I can't wait for salvage. Salvage is going to be interesting. Now I know this first bit of salvage in 3.18 is going to be kind of more hull stripping. But you know, I was watching this thing this week. You know, over the last couple of days, you know, kind of watching a lot of videos, as you can imagine. And somebody mentioned something I didn't even think about, like how piracy is going to be, you know, where there used to be kind of this indiscriminate killing, you know, where there's this line between griefing and piracy and stuff. But, you know, at some point, blowing up your ship, your components are going to be worth a lot of money. You know, if they disable your ship or blow up your ship. You know, being able to, you know, I didn't really think about it before, but man, salvaging your components, you know, if you have like an XL1 drive in there or something, hey, it's gonna be an interesting world, you know, for sure. So, all right, well, we're gonna do that thing we do, which is a little bit of a pre-flight here, and we will go ahead and check, and we're still solid on Brants. So we're looking good. I think we're ready to head back out and take a look around. Alright, pad 1. I have been threatening to go to Walla for the longest time, so I think I'm going to do that today. I know that we're probably, this is going to be our kind of Aaron Halo moment of why did we go to Walla? But you know something? Sometimes you just got to roll the dice. So I thought we'd fly over to Walla and look around today. I have been threatening to do that on the stream for a while. And so today I think is that day has come. So we hit Lyria almost every time. And I do the Aaron Halo almost every time. So we're going to shake it up a little bit and do something ridiculous and go to Walla and look for Quantanium. Ames is saying, yeah, the game gets a lot better when you have some mates to play with, no matter if it's mining or shooting. Amos, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I soloed in Star Citizen as a miner for a few months, but then when you find the right group of guys, right group of personalities, you're cool, they're cool, everybody's, you really can have an incredible time. I mean, especially my, we do a lot more than just obviously industrial stuff. There's a lot of FPS stuff. There's a lot of combat orientated stuff. So, you just don't, you're not going to get that experience unless you are in kind of a fun, get yourself in a fun group. So, I agree with that 1,000%. I mean, and I'll tell you, my experience with Star Citizen has been, for the most part, people are pretty cool. I mean, yes, there's the obligatory whatever, but I've been in around lots of different games, and I have had a really good experience. I mean, I've met a lot of older gamers. It's not just about age necessarily. I think it's just kind of maybe the style of the game or whatever. But I've really met some really great people, some incredible people, some caring people, some people that have given me stuff they didn't need to give me, or help me, or teach me, or or spent some time with people and gotten to know some people, and I really have made some good friends. I mean, from Star Citizen, and so I like artwork, but I would encourage anybody who gets into Star Citizen is definitely find yourself an organization, find yourself a group, because you're going to be able to do things that you never. You just can't have the same experience solo. So having a few people around, even if it's a small scale thing, it's just different. It's just different having kind of multi-crew stuff. Like we're taking a couple of hammerheads out tonight, filling them with filling hammerheads with with turreters. I think this hammerhead has 6 turrets on it, so we'll have a couple of hammerheads out tonight running around with a bunch of people in turrets, just doing some ERTs or whatever. I mean, there's nothing that is so fun to get in a hammerhead, or to get into like a redeemer and fly around and just lay waste to things. I mean, it is. I mean, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love mining too, and I mine every single day. But it is fun to kind of do some things with people in Star Citizen. They've got the multi-crew thing dialed in. So here we pivot, as you can see, to the. Oh, better. Maybe I should grab myself. We normally pivot to the port side, but not this time, folks. We're going. I've been threatening to go to. What the heck? What I did? Pick the wrong thing. Oh, that's weird. I didn't mean to. I just want to go to Walla. Thank you. Easy for me. There it is. Oh, it's over. It's much closer to the sun than I thought it was. Back towards the sun. So, oh, Ames is saying they once had a hammerhead that just had distortions on it. Oh my stars. Shutting everything down. Could you imagine? Turning your ship off as you fly by. Yeah, that's awesome. Alright, why are we doing Walla? I have no idea. I've just been threatening to do Walla for whatever reason, and here we go. Here's our 47. We're going to begin our 47-minute excursion on Walla, finding little or nothing, but we're doing it anyways. And I'm bringing you with me. And as people jump on the stream and they're like, "Why is V on Walla?" I will have no good excuse. Pardon me. I was hoping to try to reach for the mute and I missed it. That's the cold I've been battling this week, and that is, not that big of a deal, but anyways, Walla has some, as you can already see as we're flying in here, some incredibly, Walla does not have the cluster, no place else has the cluster meta. Now, Walla does have, if you find a cluster and it's Quantanium, then all of them are Quantanium rocks. But there's no guarantee that. Yeah, this is gonna be. We're just gonna see how this goes. So, anyways, here we are in Walla, and we definitely are gonna have to probably take a look at singles here, you guys. I mean, that's just kind of the way it goes. So this is a little bit different meta. Flying around the Walla, but look at beautiful green hues. We're gonna kind of come in here and oh wow, there's at least some rocks to scan. This is an indigenous deposit, so I don't think this is gonna have in it what we're looking for. We're gonna be scanning a lot of non-Quantanium rocks here. Nope, it's Terranite. I suppose if we did I think there's probably Laranite and Terranite. I guess I don't know if there's Bexolite on Walla. I suppose if I got into a high Bexolite, I might mind that too, but realistically, I mean, normally we just Quantanium headhunt, as you guys know, all the time. Left and right, if you go back, this may be the first time. Now, that's a Grisium right in there. One of the things about Walla that's interesting, though, I'm just going to say this from like kind of a geological standpoint. If you get in close, you can see these here. Look at the crystal. I mean, this is one of the things I really do like about this. The green crystals on the rocks are pretty amazing. Anyways, we'll kind of fire this off and we'll kind of find the sun here. All right, we'll keep that guy at our note. So off we go, and we're going to search Walla and see if we can find any. And like I said, in maybe about 27 minutes, we'll wonder to ourselves, why did we come to Walla? But people want to, have been asking, like, hey, would you mind going to Walla? And I don't mind going to Walla. And, so, and it's nice to shake it up. I mean, that's for sure now and then. But meta's different here, so we're definitely going to have to scan singles. If we come across clusters, we'll have to look at them. When you find clusters, every rock will be Quantanium, or none of them are Quantanium. But we will have to scan singles for sure. Singles are, and when it's an igneous deposit, that's not what we're looking for. So, but just to kind of, this here is that's going to be some tungsten and some copper. But that beautiful green hue is, it is pretty. It is pretty. Sometime this summer, I'm thinking about making the transition to 4K. I play in 1440p. Of course, I stream 1080. But I'm thinking about making the leap to 4K here. I haven't 100% pulled the trigger on that, but I think so. I think that's coming. Well, hey, here's a Quantanium deposit. Let's cross our fingers. Not a good one. This is a 2%er, so all right, we'll keep on looking here. Hey, there's our first cluster, so we'll take a look at that guy too. Now that's the thing, clusters are not guaranteed to be Quantanium here, but if you scan one and it's Quantanium, look at the beautiful green of this, you guys. This is it is nice to kind of visit other places for sure. This is not Quantanium. You can tell just visually. That's an a taconite, it's called. Interesting. This is going to be mostly quartz and some beryl. Alrighty. So I threatened to go to Walla, and this is where we find ourselves. Let's cross our fingers and hopefully, you know, did we get lucky? We'll find out. I don't think so. Those don't look like Quantanium wrecks from this distance. So Joey's asking what monitor I have. I have a G9, an Odyssey G9. That is definitely not Quantanium. So it's like a 49-inch UH, you know, it's a 5120 by 1440. And I've definitely been thinking about kind of, you know, my 3070 doesn't want to push that well, as you can imagine. All right, we'll fly to these doublers. I just a visual on those. That's definitely not Quantanium. So here we are on Walla, flying around looking for some Quantanium rocks, and Sandy says he got a hands-free mic and nice headphones, slowly getting set up to stream. Awesome, Sandy. Let me know when you do start that streaming thing, and I will definitely come watch your stream. That'll be awesome. Stream is fun. You know, and my best advice is some advice that somebody gave me, which is if you're going to stream, do something that you enjoy. And that's why, you know, like, I love mining in Star Citizen. I mean, that's why I know it's not the most high-octane. You know, it's not like PvP or, you know, some really, really fast-paced stuff. But I super enjoy mining in Star Citizen. And I think sometimes that it can come out, you know, like I laugh a lot. I have so much fun mining in Star Citizen. And so that's my best advice is stream the thing that you would just normally do if nobody else was watching, because this is what I do. This is what I would be doing this morning if nobody else was watching. So, you know, it's just kind of nice to just kind of do the thing that you enjoy doing. And then, you know, like, I've been really blessed, as you guys know, some of you guys who are around the stream quite a bit. We have a lot of people that come and go and teach us. You know, that come and share their experiences or tell us about their kit or, you know, theorycraft Star Citizen mining and teach us things. And I have learned so much from you guys on this channel. It's been a blessing. Absolutely. Cool. That's definitely not Quantanium. So notice we're abusing the mining laser out a little more. Like, you know, kind of, you know, as soon as it pops, it'll tell you what kind of deposit it is. See, that's a taconite. You kind of know, then you can kind of quickly assess. It'll say Quantanium deposit if it's Quantanium. A taconite. So, yeah, I knew the challenge when I came down here to Walla to find some Quantanium to mine. So we're just going to kind of look around. Bob says, looking to swap out my Q3 drives on the Processor, what would you replace them with? So Bob, that's a great question. Obviously, the Atlas drive is going to be your basic, everyday go-to. A lot of people are going to recommend the Atlas, and I can't recommend against it. If you are on a short mining loop, meaning like you have a very short mining loop that you're going on, I absolutely, short range would recommend the VK00. It's a super fast drive, or the Rush as well. The Rush will find you somewhere between the Atlas and the VK00. The Rush drive is a good one. But as far as an all-arounder, the Atlas drive is going to be the way to go. And if I had to only pick one drive, for the Prospector, it would be the Atlas. And I think most people will agree with that. But, that would be my recommendation, Bob. Thanks. Hey, not a name I recognize, by the way, too, so welcome to the channel. This is Quantanium, you guys. So let's cross our fingers and hope that we've done well. Oh, no, this will be a decent rock. That's a 41%er. Hey! Walla has paid off. Now that's not, it's a 30-40, so there's a 4117. What is this guy? All right. And this is a... All right, so here's... Look at this, you guys. This is great. So we came to Walla, and it paid off. You know... So here's what we're going to do. We're going to break down this, because this is not a 40-40. This is a 30... We're going to break down this rock, and we're going to break down this rock. And then between the two, we're going to try and get a unicorn out of this. So we'll see. It'll have to break clean. But now here, as we get in close, you can look like... obviously, there's that weird black kind of distortion-y looking graphical thing. It's weird. You know, the kind of the, like, yeah, it's just cool looking. Obviously, we don't get to, you know, taking a look at kind of the atmospherics and the things that are happening here. We don't get to mine Walla that much, so we're going to enjoy this. So, all right, so we're breaking 2 rocks down. This is a 1.83 instability. Not unmanageable. This is going to be 2 quick breaks. We're going to break these guys down here, and we're going to go from there. So, you know, good find on Walla. A couple, you know, all these rocks had a little bit in it. We are definitely not going to complain, for sure. This was a good find on Walla. Thank you, Chris. Chris is crossing his fingers that we have some good breaks. I agree with that. You know, we're definitely just going to take our time and do this right. Ooh, look at that jump up there. I feathered way back, you guys. It did. It jumped up there pretty good. Now, 1.83 is usually... 1.75 is normally when I'll auto-fire a brand. But not on first break. In first break, you have enough mass to absorb it. But you're going to end up feathering a lot. You can see I'm feathering back and forth quite a bit. See how I had to drop it back to 25. Now it's trying to fall out. Now I'm swinging back. This will still be a good break, you guys. Now, because the mass of this is so small, look at these. A lot of these are purples already. I've never... Look at a lot. Have you ever seen a break like this? I've never seen one. Everything's purple, you guys. There's not a secondary break. I've never seen one break like this before. I know when there's small mass like this, they can do this. But I truly have never seen one 100% break into all purples. I mean, it just broke into just pieces. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, there's 44%. That is crazy. Sandy's saying, looking to do an in-game radio DJ style, kind of listening to the radio in the car with news, music, and other stuff. I love that idea, Sandy. Holy smokes. Now look at this. You guys, there's a dead break in here. A big chunk of that dead broke. A dead break is where you break it and it no longer has the outline, but there's still hundos in here. That is the weirdest break. Strange. I've never seen them break all purple before. I mean, I've seen, certainly when there's small sizes like this, I'm not saying you don't see them break purples, but it's just weird that the way they did end up breaking. If I were to guess, I would say that guy is a yellow. Anyway, so strange. Well, we're going to break down this other rock and kind of move on, though, too. So, we didn't have any secondary breaks on that first one. Well, so weird. Well, and you know, Sandy, that's interesting that you said that. It was in the overcharge for a second or two, but I don't know that it was in the overcharge when I finished the break. I'll have to go back and look. But yeah, I truly, in the hundreds of rocks I've seen, have never seen it where most of them broke purple. It's just weird. Unusual, in a fun way. So we'll break this guy down and we'll keep on moving. I'll put my marvel away and for a minute we'll get back to mining. Alrighty, so kind of keeping nice clean center here. This is a 1.6 instability over the mass and seems like it's going really well. Just kind of feathering back and forth with and we should have some purples in this guy too, for sure, because this was a pretty small mass. Interesting. This guy broke purple too. And, you know, this could just be a meta on Walla that I just don't see that much. And I know that these were small rocks. I definitely understand that part for sure. So maybe I'll just break this. What is the mass on this guy? Why don't I break this guy down too, and just, you know, just in case there's, you know, I'm going to try and get a hundos here. So and these things are they're breaking all purple. It's not like I can, you know. There's 17% in this thing, so maybe there'll just be one yellow that I have to break down. I make Walla count here, you guys. Sandy, I really do like that idea. Radio DJ type, maybe jam a little music, talk about the game, you know, kind of some theory crafting, and then doing whatever you're doing. I like that idea. So we took a risk. We came to Walla, and so far Walla looks like it's paid off. Now we've got a little bit more work to do. We had 2 breaks, you know, a couple of like straight to purples, a couple of really you know, less than 4,000 mass rocks. They broke all purples, and so we're definitely just kind of, you know, like dealing with that, like dealing with the shock of that a little bit. It's just not something I've seen before. So I thought I would break up this 3rd rock because the first 2 broke so easy, and see what we have here. Maybe there'll be a purple or something in this guy that's got some decent Quantanium in it. That's nothing. That's definitely nothing. Yeah, there's some yellow. There is some purples in here. Yeah, exactly, Sandy. It'll be fun to try. There's a 46%er. I'm just going to grab any hundo that's over here, if there's any hundo to be had. I don't expect this to be a hundo. No. No. I was hoping that there might be a hundo over here, but it doesn't look like there's gonna be. Oh, this could be. Nope, 43. All right, you guys. So I think we'll kind of go ahead and get started here. Anything that's 100 over this way will. We'll kind of begin. Well, we'll see what we can do. There's lots here. We'll get it figured out for sure. All right. Well, cool. Walla has turned out not to be a bad gig today. All right, there's a 22%er. All righty, let's get this party started here. There's this guy. Now, we may not get a uni out of this. Not all this broke super clean. This other rock over here broke a little cleaner, though. So, all right, let's go. We'll take a look over this way and see if we can. See if we can't find the hundos over here. That's nothing. That's nothing. There's a hundo. So we're really just trying to, obviously, as you can imagine, pick through here and find the highest percentages first. That was a good size rock right there. Well, there goes our uni. It won't scan, so I had to tap scan it. There's a hundo. Well, we are not complaining. This is going to end up being a good run. That's a 44. That's nothing. Now that's a, you can't see that this is 100%er. You know, like it's not scanning an outline, but look, it does allow me to scoop it. And then I'm being a really good chunk right there, you guys. Holy smokes, is that a good chunk? All right, so all right, so that's, I think this guy out here was pretty much nothing too. All right. All right, let's look back over this way a little bit. All right, so that's a 50%er there. We already have 18 SCU on board, and about a, you know, about an SCU of not what we're looking for. Not even that. Very little of what, not what we're looking for. It's a 21%er there. Just trying to find the best rocks now to top this guy out. %er there. Well, looking around here for the best we can. I know there was some in that. Yep, 24%. A lot of low percentages here. Oh, there's a corner. I'm gonna pick that corner there. $46. We'll start kind of hauling this stuff in. Hey, Sandy, have a lovely day. It was good. Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate it. We have been, yeah, we're looking around here. There's a 34. So we're just kind of down to the tailings of it, you guys. It's funny, I broke the 3 rocks here, and there's probably well over 32 SCU in here, but it didn't break as clean as we'd hoped. And quite honestly, some of the numbers aren't necessarily in my mind. Maybe there's a piece or two that broke underneath. Just not seeing the numbers over here that I was kind of thinking, but they were small rocks. I mean, they were, so. Yep, we're going to go ahead and top off with this guy. We're going to hit 24 SCU, and that is nothing to sneeze at. You know what I mean? That was not, you know, had hoped to do a little better based on what we found there, but you know what? We said we were going to hit Walla. We hit Walla, and we did 24 SCU, and I am happy with that. It didn't take terribly too long, and so off we go. Bucket list. You know, checked. That's funny. All right, in we go. Kind of sneaking back here, taking a look. Oh, yep. Phone's, my QuantCalc phone's finally charged, so I'm going to fire that guy back up again. Now, we should definitely hear first alarm before I land this thing. I was looking over all the rocks. They're pretty good. It was interesting. Like I said, I expected, honestly, to do a little better there. I mean, 24 SU is nothing to sneeze at. In my mind, I was thinking that should have been a little more between 25 and 30. So I was a little surprised when I was kind of how a couple of those shook out, but no big deal. But we'll definitely hear first alarm kind of pretty soon, I would imagine. sometime definitely before we set this guy down, we'll hear first alarm, because we were monkeying around there for a minute or two, looking around to see if we couldn't find more scoop. Well, Lyria was a good run, first run, yep, and then we hit Walla, and we got some out of there, so we're happy. I mean, you know, a couple of good runs are nothing to sneeze at. We just came out of first quantum. We're gonna go into second quantum here. Let me respool. Just didn't seem to take that time. All right, so there's second quantum. Gonna roll her over there and kind of come in here about 350, 400 or so. And we will bring her on in. Oi, the Bumbler. How you doing, Oi? Good day. How you doing? So, yeah, just doing great. It's a Saturday here, just kind of chilling out in the morning. We did a Lyria run, and then we did a Walla run, and we found Quantanium in both places. So far, so good. We're not complaining. I think I have enough time, if everybody's on board with it, to maybe run out and hit the Iron Halo as well today. So, now, you know how the Iron Halo goes. We may or may not find rocks out there.
Please proceed to assigned landing.
We could go back to Lyria for more of a sure thing, I suppose, too. I'll think about it. Halo sometimes is just fun to kind of just go out and tool around in. Really looking forward to the mining gadgets. Now, I'm really kind of, will tell you guys, I'm fighting myself because like, part of me wants to kind of do to get into the PTU and test the mining gadgets just because I'm so curious about them. Boy, I think I'm definitely going to go out for one more. I normally stop at 2, but not today. I think I have a little bit more time, and the first 2 runs went really kind of, you know, quickly. So I think for sure we're going to go out for one more. And so yeah, I've been struggling with myself. Like the last time I did the PTU, you know, I really kind of got super invested in doing like the issue council and you know, and doing that kind of a thing. And I'm not sure I want to put that commitment into it. By the same token, I am really interested in the mining gadgets. Primarily, the gadget that increases the power. You know, so I'm really hoping that, and you know, that when you attach the 1 for first break, that it that increases the laser intensity. That maybe it's going to bring up the Lancet's ability to break rocks to maybe up to a mass of, say, 6,200 or 6,300. That would be really fantastic. That's the one that I'm really most interested in. Or if there is some kind of, you know, some middle ground where if you use like the Helix, you know, to break bigger rocks. But, you know, I don't know. I really, like I said, it's going to be interesting. I'm just kind of, you know, because there is these extra things coming in the mining, I'm interested in giving them a try and seeing how they work. So, all right. Paul Ferguson says, great videos. Been watching Star Citizen for a year and don't have a computer yet, smart TV and tablet, trying to learn as much as I can. Paul, first of all, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for those kind words. I'm glad that you're enjoying the videos. And I will tell you, Star Citizen seems to do that. There are people that really just kind of like space stuff, and then they start kind of checking out Star Citizen, and slowly but surely, You know, you start thinking about getting a PC and that type of thing. Someone who just joined our organization, they were a console gamer their whole life, you know, for the most part, and ended up getting a PC. I think they said for the first time, like in right before Christmas, to play Star Citizen. So, Paul, that happens. I mean, where people just kind of start kind of watching Star Citizen. You know, you like kind of futuristic space stuff. There's really no experience quite like Star Citizen, but there's a lot of, you know, Star Citizen's a little like having an old car, you know, like it's one of the jokes I like to make. You know, you get in the old car and you know that if you kind of twist the knob this way and press the clutch and open up the glove box and, you know, turn on the windshield wipers, then maybe your door locks will start working. So it's definitely got some things, you know, some things you have to kind of get used to, but it's a visually a beautiful game, and it's a pretty audacious thing that they're shooting for here. So, you know, as an old-time computer gamer, I just love Star Citizen. I adore it, bugs and all. I think this game's fantastic. I think I'm blessed in the fact that I would probably lean towards industrial stuff myself. So, anyways, welcome aboard, Paul. I appreciate you stopping in, and I'm glad the videos, you're enjoying them. That means a lot to me. Doe says, yeah, keep going. I got here. Good morning. Oi says, yeah, gadgets allow break bigger rocks is what I'm hoping for. There is one, Oi, that they said that does that, but how much bigger is the question, right? That's the question that I have, is how much bigger, you know, is for that first break. I really hope that they tweak that one so it is something that you can break like up to like a 6,500 or something. That would be fantastic. I would love that. All right, we'll get the code on this guy, get this guy started. All right, so far we've gotten about 50 SCU in the hopper, maybe 49, 50 SCU in the hopper so far today. We're not going to complain about that. Oi says, I'm not having much luck using the Surge and Stampede combo. Oi, it takes a long time to kind of get used to, like, letting the Surges decay to the spot where you when you launch the second one, it launches up into the top part of the optimum and not into the overcharge. So that it does take some getting used to. The one thing I would say is try and find, you know, start with the rocks that are around, if you can, find rocks that are around 6,200 or 6,000. You know, the ones that are just a little out of the range. Those ones can be a little easier to kind of train on. And I know it's kind of picking specific rocks to target for that particular training can be a challenge. But, you know, if you're on like anything that's 7,000 plus, those are going to be much harder. Like, if, you know, it's not to say you can't do them, but they are much harder. The ones that are 6,500 and down are going to be a little easier to train on for that type of thing. They're a little more forgiving. When it's in the optimum and you're at 100%, it'll stay in a little tighter. It won't fall out as much. Paul says, I have YouTube subscriptions for about 50 different Star Citizen content creators. Question now, does planets or moons have longitude or latitude declinations? They do, Paul. There is like kind of a system behind the scenes. Like, it's not something that, you know, it's not a location style system that's got I'm trying to describe it. It's not just longitude and latitude. There's also like I think like a third number as well for locating. So, but it isn't something that, like, we still aren't at the spot now, Paul, where we say like, hey, I'm going to need you at, you know, like 2100 by 1700 by negative 312. You know, we haven't got to the spot where we say to each other, like, this is the location number I'm at, and there's some kind of a discerning system that allows you to fly to that spot. So, but I do think that is in the background. There is a way to like, when you, through this system, like if you hit this, there's a way to type it in and get your location. And so, yeah, that's definitely coming for sure. Good question too, by the way. I know I kind of butchered it at first, but I hope I recovered okay. That's awesome. All right, couple brands, FLTRXL. That is me. That's what we like to do here. And I will go ahead and grab the prospector for one more run today, and we will head out to the Aaron Halo. So we did Lyria, we did Walla, and now we're going to head to the Aaron Halo. And the Aaron Halo, as all of you know, especially those of you who are on my stream, you know, a little more than others, it's a mixed bag, right? It can take a little while. You know, sometimes we're going out there for a half hour, sometimes we're going out there for, you know, more than a half hour. We'll just kind of see how it goes. Oops, I just spilled some Java on me. So I always do to say, everybody, at least one elevator ride. If you do like the content, do like and subscribe. It does help other people who mine in Star Citizen find our mining community. And I'll tell you, we have a really good mining community here. There's tons of people that come and participate. And in Theorycraft, all things Star Citizen, and I always do encourage people to like and sub. It helps, like I said, anybody who's interested in Star Citizen, in particular the mining loop. We just kind of blue collar it here. You know, we just kind of go do the mining. So, and then allow people to ask questions and chat about all things Star Citizen, and it's kind of the way we like to do this channel. And so, and then I'll produce some tips and tricks videos as well. You know, sometimes just kind of some atmospheric stuff, like what a nice day it was to go mining type thing. When is it not? Always says the guy that worked out Microtech's New River location used a few interesting ways of giving directions to find it. Yeah, there are. One of the other directional ways to do it is, you know, that if you're on a planet surface, if you take like 3 different locations and pick the distances between them. So I'm like, you know, like you want to be 1100 from this place, 1100 from that place, and 1300 from this place type of thing. Now, you know, that's another way. They use like 3 different locations, and the distances to those locations on like a planet surface can kind of help you kind of find a location. KSS, how you doing this morning, KSS? Nothing really crazy occurring. We're just going to we went and made some money on Lyria, then we went over to Walla and made a few space bucks, and now we're going to head to the Aaron Halo and see if we can not waste that much time and get find a few space bucks. So off to HUL5 we head. We're going to drop out at about 7.7 here. Amos is saying, had a day a week ago or so where I dropped out of QT and nearly crashing into Great Rocks 2 times in a row. Didn't know what I did that day to deserve it. So he's cruising along, comes out of QT in the Aaron Halo and almost smashes into the money pile. That's awesome, man. You know, that's some days, it's a little like fishing, Amos. I mean, you know, you go out there, sometimes you're just on the fish and sometimes you're not. You know, I was actually pretty happy that we found that, you know, that 24 SCU on Walla as quickly as we did. I thought we were going to be out there for, you know, for a minute, that's for sure. So we'll have to see how the Aaron Halo goes. The last 2 or 3 times I've gone to the Aaron Halo, it's been a good 15-20 minutes before I found anything. So we'll just kind of cross our fingers and hope we do well. That's what we're going to do. All right, so Lyria first, Walla second, Aaron Halo third. We're just going to kind of we're waiting to get to about 7.8, and then so you can see here 9.7, 9.6, it's closing. When it gets to 7.8 is when I'm going to go ahead and come out of quantum. 8.3, 2, 1, 7, 9, 8, stop. Yeah, this is what we normally do. Now notice you can have the sun's right at my 12 o'clock, but in this particular case, I'm going to clear the route. I'm going to go back towards ARC-L1. I'm going to set the route. I'm just going to pivot over. We're going to keep the sun at our back. We're going to keep ARC-L1 at our 12 o'clock. You can see here the Aaron Halo has got, in this particular area, is pretty good. I'm going to switch back over to mouse and keyboard because that's how we do our mining. From sticks to mouse and keyboard. Begin the kind of the ping, and off we go. So the beautiful Aaron Halo, the anonymity. I was thinking, you guys, one of the things that's kind of going to be kind of cool about Pyro, let's say you have Pyro 1 and you have Pyro 4. This is just, I haven't looked at those systems. And let's say that they're way beyond a standard quantum jump. It's going to be interesting to tuck a refueling ship kind of in between those two locations. So like for your organization, you're going to know that you need to, like, hey, you're leaving Pyro 1, you're heading to the refueling ship that's halfway between, your jump location, just kind of tucked away in deep space. Man, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be fun. Just kind of having these deep space assets that that only your organization kind of has the quantum beacons for. Maybe you have kind of a remote fleet, that's really just kind of tucked away and out in nowhere. And yeah, just interesting. All right, first scan on the Halo. What do we got over here? Single rock, 5122 mass, diamond. Lots of diamond in that one. We'll kind of close on these. We will be scanning singles out here as well, because they can definitely be, well, that's a 4600 mass. That is aluminum, diamond, and corundum. And we were next to this guy here, so we might as well just grab a scan on this guy too. So it's a 4931 mass. That is going to be diamond, gold, and corundum as well. So Oi says, have you been pirated on any of my mining runs? I have not been pirated on a mining run. I was pirated one time on a cargo run. So I kind of had loaded up at the time it was a Freelancer Max, so I was flying kind of a space whale. I got, that's the one thing when I do my mining runs now in a Connie Taurus or the M2, but for the most part, I don't like to lose more than a Connie Taurus's worth of, stuff. So, the Connie Taurus has got a little more teeth than the Freelancer Max. But anyways, yeah, I got targeted in between Arc L1 and Arc Corp. I got pulled out of Quantum. And I was a little, they said to me, hey, pay us 50 grand and you can leave. And in retrospect, I kind of wish I would have just done that, because I'm like, I'm not paying you guys. And it was just like, shortly after I was floating in space, I thought to myself, maybe I should have just paid the 50,000. And I will say, since then, I have kind of I've watched Mongrel Squad stuff, I've looked into pirating. People spend a lot of time preparing to do that. I've actually decided that I have a lot more respect for that gameplay loop. It's not easy. And if somebody's going to pull, if I'm sitting on a million Quantanium, and somebody's going to pull me off and just say, hey, or pull me out of Quantum, pull me out of Quantum, and say, hey man, 50 grand and you can go. Next time I'm just going to send them the 50 grand. I mean, that's not an easy thing to do, pulling people out of Quantum. And I've kind of gotten to the point where I just respect it a little more. That being said, there's a difference between pirate and just kind of straight indiscriminate killing. Although I will say that you don't necessarily know what somebody's motives are. There's certainly some people might be kind of just killing you on sight because they don't want you to find something. They're on something and they don't want you to find it. So kind of an interesting thing, I know that there's a lot of debate going on right now between kind of piracy, and I was watching actually Avenger 1's. I watched what Avenger 1 said. Like, I don't know if you guys caught that, what Avenger 1 said. And I didn't agree with a lot of what he said, but I also didn't like the fact that he felt like he had to really just kind of apologize. I don't know exactly what all took place there, but to me it's like, hey man, that's your opinion, it's all right. People can have differences of opinions. So, anyways, that kind of got me going. Yeah, that's been my experience too. You talk to people and you would think it's happening like crazy, but I've never had that experience myself. Now here's a lot of rocks out here, folks. We're gonna go ahead and see if any of them have anything in it worth mining. I definitely, that's a Quantanium rock there. So let's see but this guy's a low percentage. What about this guy here? All right, kind of 5122 mass, 2%er. And that's a 2%er. So let's fly over towards this cluster. Those are both a couple of 2%ers there. We'll have to fly past those. But yeah, you know, I mean, I'm not saying it happens all the time or doesn't happen all the time. I will tell you from somebody I'm a sheep among wolves. I mean, I don't do a lot of combat stuff. Now, I am fortunate to have a really good organization behind me, and I know someday when it push comes to shove, and I need you know, security for my mining operations, that I've really backed by a good group of guys, you know. So, you know, feel really fortunate in that regard. Now, these ones aren't scanning over here. But you know, I definitely understand why you're going to need to bring security and that kind of a thing. None of these are scanning. So I guess I'm going to go a little closer to them. But these are dead rocks. But I'm just kind of curious if they're... They're not Quantanium anyways. I don't see any orange marbling in them. So yeah, you know, there's always going to be a lot of debate around about piracy and stuff. But you know, as a miner, you know, I definitely am somebody who, like I said, I'm beginning to respect it a little more. And I used to have the attitude that I'd never pay anybody, but you know, I definitely would rethink that, especially if I'm not, you know, just from a pure profit standpoint. If you pay your money and you can move on, and you only took a 50 or 75,000 tax for it, you know, you might have just got away with it. It's better than being pulled out of quantum and indiscriminately just blown to smithereens, you know. So, all right. So we're here near in Halo. You know, we kind of hit Lyria, did good there. We hit Walla, and we did good there. And now we're in the air in Halo. Looking around for something to mine here. All right, that's not going to be it. Here's another single, 4631. Diamond Corundum, Borace. We'll keep on moving. What do you think, Oi? I mean, would you be somebody willing to, you know, if you get kind of yanked and you're in a spot where they ask for a reasonable amount of money, are you likely to get it over, or are you going to go ramming speed and just kind of not pay? And I'm always interested in what other people have to say about that. My position has changed considerably from when I first started. Part of me feels like if I'm getting pulled out of quantum and I don't have security, it's kind of my fault. Okay, that guy's not going to scan. All right, my cold kind of kicked in there for a second. Sorry, you guys. Oh, hey. All right. Let's see what we got here. That's a signature scan. We'll move in a little closer and see if we can't get a scan result here. There's going to be a scan result. Let's see what we got. That is some Hephaestonite and some Laranite. All right, we'll keep on looking here. Another single popped up. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a scan on him. Hey, look at this guy, you guys. Single rock, 4931 with a 49% mass. So we're not going to complain about that. That's almost 50% Quantanium there. So Oy is saying it's a tough one. In a sense, I don't want to reward criminals, but it feels like not a griefer kind of thing, rather legit gameplay thing, then maybe I go along with it. That's kind of where I'm at too. I don't, don't get me wrong. Every single time I go run a cargo run, I don't want to be taxed. But if I get caught kind of in a tough spot, the question becomes from a pure profit standpoint, am I not doing myself any favors by just paying the 50 grand and moving on, or the 100 grand and moving on? If I'm sitting on $500,000 worth of Quantanium, refined Quantanium, am I really just gonna, in order to just kind of, not wanting to pay them anything, kind of the whole, I don't pay pirates or whatever thing, and I totally get that. Like, am I going to walk away from all my profit? That's really what it boils, one thing it boils down to for me as well. It's a great conversation. I mean, it really is, and one that we probably need to have in the mining channel a little bit. So, you guys, this is a nice rock. This is a 49.11. So you've got you basically got darn near 50 SCU in this guy. Amos is saying he just got pirated. Sorry, Amos. Did we put some karmic some karmic waves in the into the verse and got you scooped up? Sorry about that, brother. That's for sure. Oh man, sorry to hear that. That's rough. So, guys, we're having a day here. We did really good on Lyria. We went to Walla and found some Quantanium rocks, and now we found darn near a 50%er in the Iron Halo, single rock, and we're gonna bust this guy up. So this has been a hell of a stream, you guys. I mean, as far as from a Quantanium situation, this should be if this breaks clean, we should have a uni here. So KSS is saying, hey, the mother load. Well, here's the one thing we have to worry about, though, KSS. With a rock like this, if you have one big dead break, that means when you break it into the second one, it like becomes like not a yellow outline. You can lose half your stuff with that. So we'll have to see how this goes. But we'll cross our fingers and and hope. So, Amos, yeah, I am sorry to hear that. That's rough. That's for sure. All right, so we're just kind of. This is the type of mat. This will break. It's just a 4931. It's just going to take a little bit of time. She's being a little, with this almost being half Quantanium. It's got a pretty decent instability, that's for sure, even in this mass. So with so up being around a 2.16, I may fire. We'll have to see how this is swinging. When it gets up into near the optimal, but I may fire a brand. KSS laughed about spell checking. That's funny. All right. Oi says it's 49% common in the Iron Halo. I don't think I've ever seen one. Oh, on Lyria, they're definitely get up above 40%. Oi, I mean, I think the biggest one that we've ever found was like a 8200 or something. That was a 48%er. Oh, he got pulled. Amos is saying he got pulled out of Quantum. That sucks, man. Did you cough up some space box, Amos, to get out of that, or what happened, brother? That's so funny. That sucks, Amos, for sure. But no, I mean, 49%ers are rare just in general. I mean, obviously you don't see these big boys like that, for sure. This guy's being feisty, you guys. Oh, what the heck? They only, how much, they charged you like 15,000? Is that what you're saying, Amos? Well, that's a bargain. I'm finishing off my coffee here, you guys. Hey, Morvip, how you doing, sir? Good to see you. Doe says, I'm trying to keep better track of my brand, so I only load one slot. If I'm low, I'll use it up and start over. Free that spot ups for research. Yeah, that's, trying to keep track of those is a good thing. I mean, heck, I almost wonder if maybe we shouldn't add that to, add some kind of a consumable clicker to QuantCalc or something. Kind of an idea. Oi says, well, Space Shorts has much better luck than me. World Amos is much worse. No, you know what? Oi, I'll tell you. I mean, obviously it was nice. No, this just kind of fell out. I should have kind of let it keep going. I did really well on Lyria. Of course, Lyria is going to be the most consistent place you're going to find things. And I went over to Walla. I've been threatening to go to Walla, so we went to Walla today, and we got pretty lucky. We found stuff on Walla pretty quickly. And then I came out to the Halo and found this 49%er. So you can see I think I am going to end up having to fire a Brant here, you guys, just because it's fallen out a bit. Now watch, I'll fire a Brant. This will flatten it right out, and it won't fall out anymore. So it'll be easy to do. So I don't normally like to fire Brants on first break. But this is a situation where you've got a 49%er, and it's just kind of swinging a little wilder than you're normally used to. So, Amos said, I feel like taking my Vanguard over there for a talk. Yeah, bring the Sentinel and let them know. That's for sure. Well, that really kind of broke. So, good. Let's see, I'm just kind of curious, are they all yellow outlines? They are. All right, that's good. Morvip says, I'm sure 2 will find that exciting. yeah, no, that's true. I mean, ooh, there's a 1200, 100%, you guys. That's awesome. Yeah, he just added the timer, though. Belios kind of came into our channel, Morvip, and he suggested the timer for the Quantanium timer, and 2 just added that to the to the app. So pretty cool. All right, that's a 17%er. And there's another 100. This broke really clean, you guys. I should probably, Amos says, I should probably start jumping to different points and not directly. Never a bad idea to shake it up a little bit. I agree with that 100%. Especially if you feel like you're being kind of predictable in any way, shape, or form. That's one way to break up the meta, for sure. Yeah, more of a... So yeah, maybe a consumable clicker might not be a bad idea. It's a thought anyways. I'll think about it. I mean, I never like to add too much work to 2's plate. He's a busy guy. For sure, with all the other stuff. Mach 1 Geeb. Mach 1 Greeble, how you doing? Mach 1's like, what up? How you doing, Mach? Sandy says, with everyone mining on Lyria, I wonder what refresh rate on rocks are. Maybe Walla might be better every so often. Well, I've been threatened to do... several people had asked me to do Walla. I'd been threatening to do Walla. So, you can find... Where there's Quantanium, you can find them. I mean, Damar's not a bad place to get Quantanium. The last time I went to Crusader, though, in the Crusader area, I had a 3-hour stream, and I only found 1 rock after flying around Yella, Damar. I flew to the air in Halo for a while, and then finally flew over to HURL3. It was like, I think I renamed that particular stream. It was like lots of coffee and very little Quantanium. It was one of those days. It's like, oh my stars, this is terrible. I could not find anything to save my bacon. So. This was a 17%. We'll break this guy up. All right, so we're doing well here. We found this 49%er in the Iron Halo. Single rock, 49%er, and we're breaking it up now for extraction. So this will be interesting here. The brand just kind of ended. We're just going to try and keep it in the middle of the optimal. We might have to feather back, or we're just trying to finish in the break that way. Looks like... So a couple of these had stuff in it, but there was one big one that's got 24 SCU right off the bat. And it's the lower one here. I just wanted to make sure. Oh yeah, here's another hundo. Okay, and then this guy I think has nothing, right? And this is the guy down here that's got. This is the 1200. That's a 1209 at 100%. So we're gonna break this hundo down first. And I mean, this is breaking clean enough, guys. Looks like we're gonna end, end with a uni here for sure. Now this is only a 334 mass, so you can see she's definitely a little touchy. A bit touchy. 0.62 though instability after we fired the Brant, so easy pickings now that we got the Brant rolling. I'm gonna try and get I'm gonna try and do the old double Brant thing here. I'm trying to keep an eye on it. I can't really see the timer, but as soon as this guy breaks, I'm gonna get down on the other one, and we really, keep our fingers crossed. We really should have a uni here. Fell out a second there. If we get lucky. Good break. All right, so let's break this guy up. All right, so this is the vast majority of that rock here. So notice I tried to get it up into the green really fast, and then I fell back out. I'm trying to get as much of this broke with the Brant as the first Brant. I think it's going to kind of tail out towards the end where it's going to fall off before we get done there. I can't see the timer. It's behind the part of the UI. But no big deal. I would expect it to, just kind of fall off at some point here. Yep, right there. And notice it fell out right away. And it fell out kind of a long ways too. So I am going to try and see if I can finish this with... I don't want to mess this up though. So you got to stay really close attention here. Good break. We're extracting. So Sylvain Martin, welcome to the channel, Sylvain. How you doing today? I found a 7500 at 48% on Lyria the other day in my solo mole. I tried to break a double surge stampede, could not keep it in the optimal zone. When they get up around 7,500, Sylvain, that is a difficult thing to do. I mean, yeah, you had to abandon it. That's judgment's the better part of valor there. I mean, that's a long ways. I mean, that's, when they start getting north of 7,000, really, it's a little easier. Now, it's not to say you can't do it, because you can if you get lucky. You almost want to jump us just slightly into the overcharge. And it's a dangerous thing to do, though. Because that can get away from you pretty quickly. So, all right, you guys, this was a very good, quick 20 SCU. Let me go ahead and we'll check this guy real quick. We just want to make sure that we're discerning with the laser this time. We really should have a unicorn here if we just kind of don't jump the gun too big. There was plenty of rocks over here that should be 100%ers. But we just want to make sure that we get the scan results on them and make sure they're hundos before we start grabbing them. Yeah, they could be real tough when they start getting up over 7,000, that's for sure. And I will say, like a couple of versions ago, like 3.14, it seemed like it would stay in the optimal a little easier. But that's, I don't know, it may just be perception. It may, guys, that was a quick 32 SCU right there. That is a unicorn. right that quick. Let me go ahead and get out of Dodge here. We'll start heading back to Arc L1. That was a 32 SCU Unicorn, just like that. Clean brakes. Boy, I didn't hardly feel like I was scooping. I was full. You know. Lyndall Lucas, welcome to the channel. Lyndall, how you doing? Is there a way to fix bugs in the game? I guess, Lyndall, one of the things that I would suggest that, obviously, I'm not sure exactly which one you're talking about, but there is the issue council, which you can actually report bugs to. So, you know, there is a place where you can actually report issues. Now, they've really, you know, and especially with this, you know, with this IFC that we just had, we should understand they have really kind of put all hands on deck for Squadron 42. It's not to say that we're not going to see some improvements in the PU, but they really have moved their senior teams to Squadron 42. It looks like they're really starting to make a push. You know, I was thinking about it last night, and kind of my, you know, I was sleeping a lot of the day yesterday because I had a stupid cold. I will tell you, you know, thinking about it, if you think about Star Citizens in the PU, if they can make a single, you know, and obviously that's what they're doing, but if they can make a single player game, you know, kind of self-contained in the way that the PU plays, I think they're really in a position to push to finish Squadron 42. Now, listen, I'm a PU guy. I like the PU. I would rather stay in the PU. Squadron's not that important to me, but different people feel different about that stuff. And I would like, you know, they said they were going to make Squadron 42. I'd like to see them finish Squadron so we can, you know, have the persistent universe stuff for sure. So it does seem like when things come into the PU, they're going to be in a little better state because they had to pass kind of, you know, AAA title, you know, bug-free status in order to, you know, in order to get in here. But, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the month goes. Always says, do you expect 3.7 by the end of the month? Hard to say. You know, it depends on if they hit any, you know, snags. I know in the E-patches, the Evocata patches. I would, if I were to guess, I would think it might be the first week of next month. But that would just be kind of, you know, it really just depends. Sylvain says, no, I agree. Seems like rock percentages spread is greater, seeing less 40% and more 10%ers and higher instability. I see that too, Sylvain. HR Hill, welcome to the channel. Not a name I recognize, but super happy that you're here today. Thinking of playing this, is there much in the way of exploration? HR, not so much exploration. I mean, obviously there's a lot of stuff planned for exploration, but I am not going to pull any punches. There's not a lot of exploration game stuff going on right now. Now, don't get me wrong. Star Citizen, you know, the Stanton system's a big place with lots of places to go. But and I will tell you, one of the cool things is with 3.17, you can now loot boxes and sell the loot. Like, there's actual standard MMO stuff. So I think maybe as far as exploration goes, you know, there's going to be kind of some FPS combat type things, but not exploration in the sense of going out and finding new stuff. It's not quite there yet at all, and I wouldn't want you to have any kind of a misunderstanding. That being said, Star Citizen is incredibly fun to play, you know, and I know that exploration stuff is one of the things that they really have talked a lot about. So, Sylvain says, the mining loop or Star Citizen in general? Oh, that's a good question. I think he was meaning Star Citizen in general, Sylvain. GK, not a name I recognize either. Welcome to the channel. I don't think this game makes it to full release. The wall of bugs is masking a lot of bad design decisions. You know, it's going to be hard to say. You know, I don't want to... I definitely... the mining loop in Star Citizen in the PU now, with all of its bugaboos or whatever, is still a pretty fun thing to do. GK, I don't necessarily... I'm not as dark as some people are on it. I think that there definitely is some... I think that there are some things that are holding the PU back that they may or may not be in a position to solve as far as persistence goes. I think that they're making headway, but I do think that they've decided to retool and push towards a Squadron 42, like I really think that they've got a lot of the assets together where they could push out a single-player game with Squadron, and I think that they're going to kind of push that towards the finish line for a little bit. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the year we get an announcement of a Squadron 42 release date and that kind of a thing. So, but I'm not as dark as some people. I'm not a white knight either, but I'm not as dark as some people on where Star Citizen is at. So, but I definitely respect all people's opinions on it. That's for sure. All right, easy peasy, touchdown. Alrighty.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Oi, the Bumbler says, I sort of hope it never gets finished. I love getting new stuff every 3 months. Yeah, I kind of, I enjoy what's already here. I think I'm blessed in that capacity. So, hey, let me out. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I really enjoy space mining, so. HR says, I just met Star Citizen in general. Thanks for your answer. I really like your voice as well. Thank you, HR. That's very kind of you. I truly appreciate it. Also, this place you are flying through looks beautiful. Yes, this is a Lagrange point. I mean, Star Citizen, HR, if not anything, is a very beautiful game. GK says, the mining is the best fleshed out. Orison is a boring nightmare to visit. Trading only has enough commodities to support one player in a large cargo vessel doing it. GK, I can't disagree with that stuff. Orison's beautiful, but it's... it's a long ways down into the atmosphere in order to get in and out of there. I spend a lot of time myself on refinery stations and just going to mines. So, I definitely hear what you're saying with that. I do wish that they would fit. Trading is one of those things that I wish they would just kind of crank that up a little bit. But it's here nor there. You know what I mean? So, Amos is saying, where can I report people? Have a guy kind of going crazy with the racial slurs. That's too bad, Amos. I'm sorry to hear that. That's ridiculous in this day and age. I would probably say go to Spectrum. If you go to Spectrum and just go onto there's a channel on Spectrum. It's where there's help. When you first go to Spectrum and go to the forums, there's a section where there are people there that will help, and they can probably point you in the direction that you need to go. Yeah, that's, this day and age, I mean, come on. I mean, where are we at with this? It's out of control. You know what I mean? That's not a cool thing. I'm sorry to hear that. Mach 1 Griebel says, Orison is a fun black hole, but it's damn gorgeous. Yeah, Orison, Orison is kind of a black hole in a way. It's a good way to think about it. It's very pretty. No, but nothing seems to escape it. So, hey, Oi the Bumbler says, thanks for the tip regarding the space helmet. I'm loving the yellow icons. Appreciate that, Oi, for sure. X-Crossed, definitely not a name I recognize on the stream. Welcome aboard. How you doing today? I love to explore in this game. I have a Cutlass Black and a Cyclone AA. I load it up and just go. That's a good point. I mean, obviously, exploration can mean different things to different people. If you want to just kind of cruise around and go to a planet surface, I mean, Star Citizen sold me the day I took a 135. There's a 100 series. I took it down. I landed on the planet of Daymar. I went into a cave. I came out. It was morning. I was standing there. There was my ship sitting there outside of the cave, and above that was Crusader hanging over Daymar. Now, listen, if you're standing, I mean, come on. There's nothing cooler than standing on a planet, looking at another. Standing on a moon, looking at a planet in the distance that's a gas giant, and with your spaceship sitting on the surface of that moon. There's something special about Star Citizen, I'm telling you guys. It's a special project, so. So you guys, that was a unicorn. That was a straight unicorn, 32 SCU. Absolute unicorn right there. So we've done really good today, you guys. We did 26 SCU on Lyria, we did 24 SCU on Walla, and we did a unicorn in the air in Halo. So a couple of things. We've got Sylvain is KSS is making a good point. Amos, you probably will want to grab some screen caps of that for sure. If that's going to be, you always want to have for the proof or whatever. I don't disagree with that. Sylvain says, I'm kind of excited about refueling and the talk about limited supply of fuel at spaceports cause the need for gas truck or loop. I'm excited about that too, Sylvain. I was also making the point earlier, when it comes to, say, Pyro, when they get the Pyro system going, it's going to be really cool when you leave, like, Pyro 1 and you know where your own deep space refueling ship is. You don't have enough quantum fuel maybe to make it from Pyro 1 to Pyro 4. I'm just throwing something out there. I don't know if that's the actual planets or whatever. But you know that somewhere in the deep black is sitting your little kind of refueling, refining station that's specific to your org, and you fly there, you refuel, and you move on. So you have kind of like your deep space place where you kind of talk to your fleet. That's going to be so awesome. I can't wait for that. Kips, TER, welcome to the channel, Tips. Where do you earn money? Well, Tips, Kips, you can earn money lots of different ways. If you're first new to the game, I would recommend box missions. I think that those are an excellent way to earn money. I mine. You can also do bounty hunting. There's FPS bounty hunting, and then there's ship-to-ship combat bounty hunting. Those are some other ways that you earn money. A good news is, in 3.17, which is the patch that's going to drop sometime in the next 2 or 3 weeks, out in the world, when you loot things, you're going to be able to bring those, you take entire bodies, use your tractor beam, move them back to your ship, strip the bodies, bring that armor, bring all the gear that they had back, and take those to places and sell that gear as well. So you're going to be able to earn a lot of money just kind of out in the verse, going to bunkers and those types of things. Now, that's not happening today, but getting used to the FPS combat is a good idea to kind of prep for that. So X-Cross said the river will also be cool to explore. There'll be consumables to collect along the riverside. Yeah, I like the idea of the river. And I do know that kind of lends itself towards Pyro, you guys, as far as the lava types of things that are going to happen in Pyro. So here's one thing I will say. I've seen a lot of new faces today on the stream. That's awesome. Obviously a lot of familiar faces as well, which is great. Please do, if you do like the stream, give me a like. Go ahead and subscribe. If you ever have questions about mining, we have an awesome mining community here. And lots of people who are regulars who come to the channel will answer your questions if I can't. I've learned so much from you guys. X-Cross is saying he's going to get into the medical profession. That's an awesome idea, X-Cross. We actually have in our organization, we have a medical squadron. And I was always teasing the guy who runs the medical squadron that we should do like a stream that's like Star Citizen 911 rescue type of thing where, and they are saying in 3.17 there's going to be some downstates.
See anything you like?
Like they're going to change the way downstates work, so there's going to be lots or some more opportunity for for medical gameplay. Medical gameplay's gotten really good, so that's really cool. Extra says he's been a sub, but just kind of lurking. I appreciate that. X is good. So hey, you guys, I just want to we did 3 runs today. We normally just do 2, so we did 1 on Lyria, 1 on one on Walla, and 1 in the air and Halo. We got 1 unicorn in the bucket today. So today's been an absolutely lovely stream. I've enjoyed kind of all the conversation chatting with you guys. Mach 1, I'm going to miss you. How you doing? We'll see you around the way for sure. It's early for me, but nighttime for you. Good night, sir. But anyways, obviously, hey, the link for QuantCalc's in the description if you guys want to, an easy peasy, tool to help you do mining and calculate how much SCU of Quantanium is in rocks. What I consider the best organ in the universe. The link's in the description there, spectrefleet.space. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. This was awesome. Some of you new faces, thank you for contributing. I loved it. It was awesome. I can't thank you all enough. Have a lovely Saturday, and I will see you all around the verse.